All right, let's talk about a command line tool that pretty much everyone who's ever touched a terminal has used, the humble MV command. You've probably typed those two letters 1,000 times without really thinking about it. But believe me, what's happening behind the scenes? Well, it's kind of like a magic trick.
I mean, have you ever done this? You've got some massive file, like a huge video that's several gigabytes. You type MV to put it in a different folder, hit enter, and poof, it's just done, instantly. How? It just doesn't seem possible, right? Well, that's exactly the mystery we're going to unravel today.
So to really get to the bottom of this instant move phenomenon, we first have to get one thing straight. The MV command is a bit of a shapeshifter. Yeah, it's like it has a dual identity, two main jobs it can do depending on what you tell it.
Okay, so here are its two faces. On one hand, you can use it to rename a file. You just type MV, the old name, then the new name. Boom, renamed. Super simple. But on the other hand, if that last thing you type is a folder name, a directory, it doesn't rename anything. Instead, it picks the file up and moves it right into that folder. See? Same command, but totally different results.
All right, so renaming files, moving files into folders, we get the basics. But that brings us right back to our big, burning question. What is actually going on under the hood when we move that gigantic file, and it happens in the blink of an eye? And here we are, the big reveal. This is where we pull back the curtain and show you how the magic trick is done, because it really is like an illusion, and the secret has everything to do with where that file is going.
So let's picture it again. You have this absolutely massive video file, right? Maybe a movie or some raw footage, and you just want to move it into your videos folder. So you type out the command and you hit enter.
And the time it takes? Practically zero, maybe 1/100th of a second. I mean, that just feels wrong, doesn't it? Your brain tells you the computer should be whirring away, reading and writing all that data, but it's just not.
Right? It's that moment where you just kind of stare at the terminal and think, wait, did that actually work? How is it even possible to move all that data without it taking any time?
And here it is. This is the whole secret. The magic trick works, the move is instant, if you move the file on the same drive. That's it. If the starting point and the ending point are on the same physical disk, it's instantaneous. Okay, so think of your hard drive like a giant library. Every file is a book. But instead of moving the whole book from one shelf to another, the computer just goes to the card catalog, the index, and changes the card to say the book is now on a different shelf. The actual book, the data itself, never moves an inch. All the computer does is update the pointer to where that data lives. It's just relabeling, not relocating.
And this is where the difference becomes crystal clear. Moving on the same drive, that's just a relabel operation. It's instant and it uses zero extra disk space. But the moment you try to move a file to a different drive, say from your main hard drive to a USB stick, everything changes. The computer can't just relabel it anymore. It has to do a full-on copy of all the data, paste it to the new drive, and then delete the original. And that is why it takes time, depending on how big the file is.
So the key takeaway here is pretty wild when you think about it. When you move a file on the same drive, the file never actually goes anywhere. The raw data, all those ones and zeros, they are sitting in the exact same physical spot on the disk. The only thing that changed was a tiny little pointer in the file system's address book. It's a total illusion of movement. Okay, so it's powerful, it's fast, it's efficient. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? We have to talk about a really crucial word of caution, because this command can also be pretty dangerous if you're not careful.
And this is probably the single most important thing to remember about MV. By default, it will overwrite files without asking. Let me say that again. If you move a file into a folder and there's already a file there with the exact same name, MV will just obliterate it. No warning, no "are you sure?" just gone. Poof.
Thankfully, there's a super simple way to protect yourself from this. It's the I flag, which stands for interactive. If you just add that little flag to your command, the system completely changes its behavior. It'll actually pause and ask you, hey, do you really want to overwrite this file before it does anything? It's one tiny addition that can save you from a world of pain.
All right, so let's quickly run through the key takeaways. First, MV is a 2-for-1 deal. It can rename and it can move files. Second, those magical instant moves only happen on the same drive because it's just updating a pointer, not actually moving data. Third, moving to a different drive is the old school copy and delete we all expect. And finally, and maybe most importantly, use MV-I to keep yourself from accidentally deleting something important. It's your safety net. So there you have it, the secret life of the MV command. Pretty cool, right? And it really makes you think. If a command this simple has such a clever optimization hiding under the surface, what other secrets are lurking inside those other simple commands we use every single day?